Hey guys, what's going on? It's Alex from Fitment Industries, and today we're going to be talking to you about different ways you can lower your car. So I know there's a lot of people out there that want to get different style looks, whether they're looking for track-oriented purposes or the whole fender to lip stance game. There's a ton of different ways that you can achieve that look. But you know, there are certain things you have to remember, especially cons, when it comes down to different ways that you can do it. So we're going to just jump right into it. Now I'm sure if you're watching this video, you think the first thing that we're going to talk about would be lowering springs, but you're wrong. Actually, there are a lot of fundamental things that you can do with your basic OEM air suspension for the European owners out there. So there is a piece that you can buy called lowering links, and what that allows you to do, and this is only exclusive to vehicles that have automatic OEM air suspension, but the lowering links just allow you to lower your vehicle straight from the factory. Because what ends up happening is your OEM air suspension works off different pressures and height sensors. Those lowering links essentially lower that so that you can actually get lower with your OEM air suspension than your stock would allow you to do. One of the pros of having this is it's probably the cheapest modification you can do to an OEM air suspension vehicle, because it only costs probably about $200 to $300. On top of that, it gives you that fitment look that you want. It allows you to look like you've got something like Airlift or AccuAir, except you only spent a few $100 and it took you about 2 hours. They are affordable and easy to install and uninstall if you're looking to sell the vehicle at a later time. But something you have to remember about lowering links is they don't actually increase any sort of performance part of your car. They're just pretty much aesthetic only pieces. Lowering links aren't really that adjustable. They are to a certain extent, but not as much as one would hope. OEM air suspension is pretty restrictive in what it can and can't do. Lowering links isn't going to automatically turn your car into something like AccuAir or Airlift 3P, but it's going to get the job done if you're looking for a quick and easy solution. So going right into the basics, lowering springs. Now, if you guys have been a part of the scene for a while, you know that lowering springs used to be a lot more common than they are now, but they do play a pretty fundamental part in the aftermarket car community, most notably because they're a very easy and efficient way to lower your car. On top of that, they're very cost efficient. They only cost a few $100. Eibach makes a pro kit that's extremely good spring setup, but lowering springs are just that. They're springs. They don't really do any sort of adjustment or anything that's crazy in terms of adjustable dampening or anything like that. They just lower your car. But the great things about them, they're cheap, they're easy to install, they're easy to find, and there's plenty of applications for them. Almost every single year, make, and model has some form of lowering spring that you can install on your vehicle, which is great because there's so many different vehicles right now in the aftermarket car community that everything can potentially be modified, and you see a lot of different stuff at car shows. Lowering springs allow you to modify something that you wouldn't normally expect for a pretty good price. But we're gonna go into the next subject, which is coilovers. So coilovers were, and probably still are, the most common modification that a lot of people do to their car when dialing in their suspension. Coilovers are insanely versatile. They allow you to adjust dampening, adjust your overall ride quality, your ride height, allows you to dial in your suspension if you're looking to actually take your car to the track, and so much more. Coilovers are like the full package of a video game, whereas lowering springs are like the free beta. It all comes down to what you want to do and what you are willing to do and put into your car to make it the perfect ride. Coilovers consist of a shock absorber which is wrapped around a coil spring. That's pretty much all it is, and they usually come already installed and ready to roll. Coilovers aren't terrible to install. From the basis of it, it allows you a lot of customization and allows you a lot of availability to really dive into your car and understand how suspension works and how coilovers work, and they greatly improve your overall ride quality in terms of performance and not necessarily in terms of comfort. Coilovers are kind of plug and play, but at the same time, if you're looking to dial in your suspension, they're definitely not. There's so much you need to take into consideration when installing coilovers, including dampening, including actual ride height and where you want each one to sit at in terms of front and rear. If you're planning on launching the car using drag or drift or autocross or HPD, you need to actually set up your coilovers specifically for how you plan to drive the car to make them work effectively. If you don't, it's pretty much a waste of time and money. And with that out of the way, we're finally on to the top dog, the one that's probably gonna be the most popular style of suspension in the coming years, air suspension. Air suspension has existed for some time now. AMG's had it for a long time, M-Series had it for a long time, Audis have had it for a long time, especially in their A8 models. They've now really gotten into the aftermarket customization stuff because that's just the way this community works. They want more customization, they want more options, and they want to be the cool kid on the block. Air suspension does that for you. Air suspension is probably the most versatile out of everything that we've chosen because everything is at a click of a button. And honestly, air suspension allows you to do what I did when I first installed my coils, is where I maxed the whole thing out to see how low I could get the car to go. I stared at it for a couple hours, I took a few pictures of it, and then I had to raise it back up because I had to drive the car down the road. Air suspension allows you to get those pictures and get that look of being slammed on the ground, and then you can air up, go over bumps, go over any sort of potholes, go through a Walmart parking lot with speed bumps, and do everything as if your car was on stock suspension. But air suspension isn't all hunky-dory. So in case you're new to air suspension, usually the way that it works is you have a compressor, a tank, air lines, you have a management system, and a few other goodies that pretty much allow you to pressure and put air pressure into bags that are in your front and rear struts that allow you to raise and lower your vehicle. So the higher the pressure, the more air that's in the bag, the higher the car lifts up. Obviously, when you dump that air out, you lose pressure. It allows the car to come back down onto the ground, and you get that slammed look. And there's a lot of great things that you can do with air suspension. Your ride quality dramatically improves in terms of just overall cruising compared to something like coilovers, where if you have them oriented towards more of a sport function style, air suspension is going to allow you to air up, is going to allow you to go through any sort of rough roads, anything like that, and handle pretty much anything that's on the road with ease. It allows you for complete customization options, and there's a bunch of different styles that you can make your air suspension do for your car. It allows you to slam it, allows you to lift it up, it allows you to have that perfect fitment. It also is generally considered a pretty good option for track use as long as you dial it in correctly. But there are a couple things that aren't so good about air suspension, most notably the price. Air suspension is by far probably the most expensive option out of all of them, especially if you're looking into the 3H system by Airlift, or you're looking into AccuAir's more progressive lineup. They have a lot of new tech that allows them to be more function oriented rather than just form, but you are paying a very heavy price tag. Anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 isn't uncommon for air suspension in most vehicles. So which one do you guys plan on installing? If you have any questions or concerns, drop them below, but we actually do carry all those things, including lowering springs, coilovers, and airlift. www.fitmentindustries.com. Let us know if you guys have any questions or comments below, because we read every single one. So we want to hear from you what you would like to see us cover next. But I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. Thanks for staying tuned. We'll see you later. Peace.